When a woman seems distant, she's not always pulling away to test you. She's observing how you handle the space she's creating. Do you get anxious and start over-explaining yourself, filling the silence with nervous chatter? Do you push her to explain what's wrong, desperate for reassurance? Or do you stay calm, composed, and give her room to come back on her own terms? The man who captures her heart doesn't panic when she withdraws. Your stillness and her silence sends a powerful message. I'm not here to control you. I'm here to hold space for you. That quiet strength builds trust without you even trying. It's not about playing games or being aloof. It's about showing her you're secure enough to let her process without losing your cool. Women notice this, and it draws them closer because it signals a man who's emotionally grounded, someone they can rely on when life gets messy. If you're looking for more insights on building that kind of confidence, check out my YouTube channel, WisdomWavesAura, where I dive deeper into creating authentic connections. Emotions can be intimidating for most guys. When a woman's feelings flood the room, the instinct is to fix everything, defend yourself, or even retreat to avoid the intensity. But the man she falls for doesn't flinch under that pressure. He listens without interrupting, breathes through the storm, and stays present. You don't need to solve her emotions or have all the answers. She's not looking for a fixer. What she craves is emotional safety, a man who can sit with her vulnerability without trying to change it. When she realizes that nothing she says or feels scares you off, that's when she starts to attach. It's not about being perfect, it's about being steady. She wants to know that her chaos won't push you away, and when you show her that, you become the one she trusts with her heart. On WisdomWavesAura, I share tips on how to cultivate this kind of emotional resilience so you can be that rock for someone special. A woman is drawn to a man who protects his energy, who values his peace above all else. When you don't jump to respond to every text, when you don't beg for her attention, when you don't feel the need to over-explain just to stay in her good graces, she feels your self-respect. That energy is magnetic. It's different. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about having boundaries that say, my energy is sacred, and I choose who gets access to it. That's not arrogance, it's leadership. Women fall for men who know their worth and don't compromise it for validation. When you carry yourself with that kind of quiet confidence, she starts to see you as someone who's whole on his own, someone who doesn't need her to feel complete. That's the kind of man she wants to be around. For more on how to cultivate this mindset, head over to WisdomWavesAura, where I break down how to protect your energy and attract the right people. How you make her feel and her imperfections is where the real connection happens. Let's be real, she's not looking for a man who only loves her when she's polished and perfect. She's watching how you respond when she's moody, unsure, or a little messy. Do you judge her for not having it all together? Do you subtly shame her for her flaws? Or do you give her space to be human? When you accept her without trying to fix her imperfections, you create a safe space for her to be real. Women don't fall for men who make them feel perfect. They fall for the ones who make them feel safe to be imperfect. That's when she starts to let her guard down, because she knows you're not here to judge her but to see her for who she is. On WisdomWavesAura, I talk about how to embrace authenticity in relationships so you can build bonds that are deep and genuine. There's a subtle power in leading without controlling, and that's what makes a woman relax around you. You don't need to dominate her decisions or bark orders to prove you're in charge. Quiet leadership is about making decisions with confidence, planning with intention, and moving with purpose. When you show up with that kind of clarity, she starts to trust where you're going. She doesn't need you to take over her life. She needs to feel like she can let go of control, because your calm confidence makes her feel secure. That trust is the foundation of emotional attachment. It's not about forcing her to follow you. It's about creating a vibe where she wants to follow because she believes in your direction. I dive into this kind of leadership on WisdomWavesAura, where I share practical ways to lead with confidence without crossing into control. Connection isn't something you can force, and the man she remembers is the one who lets it unfold naturally. Too many guys try too hard to create deep moments. They overshare, push heavy conversations, or try to fast-track intimacy. But that often backfires, making her feel pressured. The man she falls for doesn't demand vulnerability or fill every silence with questions. You let her open up when she's ready, listening not to respond, but to understand. That patience and respect build a bond that feels effortless and real. When you give her the space to come to you, she feels safe to share her true self. It's not about chasing deep moments, it's about creating an environment where they happen naturally. On WisdomWavesAura, I explore how to build these organic connections that last. So check it out for more insights. Here's the irony. The less you need her to feel whole, the more she's drawn to you. When your life has rhythm, purpose, and direction, she starts wondering how she can be part of it. You don't just talk about your goals, you live them. You're not waiting for her approval to move forward. You've already chosen yourself. That's what pulls her in. Women don't want to be your reason to grow. They want to witness your growth and join the ride. When you're building a life that excites you, whether it's your career, your passions, or your personal growth, she sees a man who's going somewhere. That's magnetic. She wants to be part of a story that's already in motion, not the one who has to push you to start writing it. I talk about building a life that attracts the right people on WisdomWavesAura, so subscribe if you want to learn how to create that kind of pull. Being emotionally controlled doesn't mean being cold, it means being composed. You're not easily rattled by her mood swings or the ups and downs of a relationship. You don't chase reassurance or overreact when things feel off. That emotional gravity is rare, and it's what makes her curious about you. When she sees that her chaos doesn't shake you, her curiosity turns into desire, and that desire becomes attachment. It's not about being unavailable in a manipulative way, it's about being so grounded in yourself that you don't cling or chase. You attract her by being immovable, a steady presence she can rely on. This kind of energy is what makes you stand out, and it's something I dive into on WisdomWavesAura, where I share how to cultivate that unshakable confidence that draws people in. So, if you want to know how women fall in love, stop obsessing over what to say or do. It's not about the perfect words or grand actions, it's about the energy you bring. Be the man who makes her feel seen in her silence, safe in her chaos, and drawn to your life without needing to be the center of it. It's about showing up as someone who's whole, grounded, and moving forward with purpose. When you embody that, you don't have to chase love, it comes to you. Your presence becomes impossible to ignore. Because you're not just reacting to her, you're creating a space where she feels free to be herself. That's the secret to real, lasting attraction. This isn't about playing games or following a script, it's about becoming a man who naturally draws people in. When you focus on your own growth, your own peace, and your own direction, you create a gravitational pull that's hard to resist. She'll notice the way you carry yourself, the way you don't crumble under pressure, the way you make her feel safe without smothering her. That's what builds a connection that goes beyond surface-level attraction. It's about being someone who's already complete, inviting her to join a life that's already in motion. On WisdomWavesAura, I share more about how to become that kind of man, with practical tips and mindset shifts to help you show up as your best self. If this resonates with you, drop emotional gravity in the comments below and let me know you're watching till the end. Better yet, head over to WisdomWavesAura on YouTube, where I break down these concepts with real-world advice you can apply today. Becoming the man who makes love impossible to ignore starts with small, intentional steps, choosing calm over chaos, confidence over control, and purpose over pleasing. You don't need to chase her heart. Just build a life so compelling, she'll want to be part of it. That's the energy that changes everything.